Today I'm just going to read out some information related to the very worthwhile film, very strong film I just saw called Sant Tukaram. A 1936 Marathi film produced by the Prabhat Film Company and based on the life of Tukaram, who lived from 1608 to 1650. He was a prominent Varkari saint and spiritual poet of the Bhakti movement in India. Film directed by Vishnupant Govind Damle and Sheikh Fattelal and featured Vishnupant Pagnis in the lead role of the saint. Sant Tukaram is revered as a great Indian film. It was the first Indian film to receive international recognition. It was judged one of the three best films of the world at the Venice Film Festival and was showcased in other international film festivals. It was a runaway success and broke the box office records by being the first Indian film to run in a single theatre for more than a year. It was Prabhat and Pagnis' most famous film and became the archetype for devotional film. I'd like to read out a review submitted on the 13th of August 2005 to IMDb by one Amasim. Gave it a 10 out of 10. Life story to Sri Sant Tukaram. Sant Tukaram, made in the Marathi language, is one of the highest achievements of the early sound period of Indian cinema. The film has charm and directness that sets it apart from other devotional films. Though the film shows miracles, they merge with the reality due to the strong conviction of the filmmakers. Very true. Tukaram's conflict with his wife Jijai has an earthly believability and humour. He is no cardboard saint and she no mechanical shrew. In fact, their characters are insightful and command our empathy. Incredibly true. When her ailing son cries in pain, Tukaram can only offer the name of Vithoba, his deity, to console the infuriated Jijai. It says Vithoba here, but in my subtitles it was Panduranga. That's it. That's an alternate name for Vithoba. There we go. She drags the child to the temple to settle scores with the deity. Her action is no mere dramatic flourish. In fact, it comes across as genuinely felt emotion. Jijai, with her common sense and practicality, convinces Tukaram to leave his meditation and get down to hard labor to save the family from starvation. To her husband must provide for the family, yet her devotion to Tukaram is no way less than those who regard him as saint. Her devotion is that of a wife, not a devotee. The acting in the film shows a remarkable blending of the dramatic, the lyrical, and the casual, neo-realistic gesture. Pagnis is a minstrel before he came to film, so identifies with the persona of Tukaram that viewers came to regard him as saint. Gauri plays Jijai with such a consummate skill that it is hard to believe she had joined Prabhat Film Company as a menial. Hers is a fabulous performance, and it is she who is the life of the film. Possibly true. The film breaks new ground with her earthly portrayal, who energetically squeezes cow dung cakes for fuel and refuses to ascend to heaven, preferring to stay back and look after the children. Other innovations include the extraordinary track shot introducing Rameshwar Shastri to the town, showing the people working cadence to a song. Care has also been taken to give the different characters a different language. For example, the language in the sequences of the villain is dramatic, whereas the speech of his wife exhibits utter simplicity and robust strength. Sant Tukaram smashed box office records, particularly in Maharashtra, and went on to become the first Indian film to win an award at the prestigious Venice Film Festival in 1937. I'd like to read out some more information which I have acquired from, and I'm reading out from indiancine.ma as per usual. This classic film chronicles the life of Tukaram, 17th century, one of Maharashtra's most popular saint poets, activating the 20th century resonances of his turning away from courtly Sanskrit towards vernacular rhythms of religious poetry, which constituted the first major emancipatory movement against Brahmanical caste domination. The episodic plot pits Tukaram, Pagnis, against the Brahmin Salamalo, Bhagwat, who pretends to be the true author of Tukaram's songs while calling for his ostracization. In showing Tukaram's growing popularity and his willing acceptance of the suffering heaped on him and his family by his oppressors, the movie binds song, gesture, rhythm, and camera together with character and crowd behaviors, denoting the spiritual connection between the poet and the people while separating off the members of the Brahminical caste. One of the studio's cheaper productions, it adheres to most of the conventions of the genre, including numerous miracle scenes in which the poet's god intervenes to demonstrate the truth of Tukaram's teachings. Those are fabulous, by the way. However, it endows these conventions with an unusual degree of conviction, as in the song Adi Bij Ekail, written for the scene in which Tukaram celebrates the fertility of nature and composed in the poet's own Ovi form of 3 to 1/2 beats, paralleling the work rhythm of women churning a grindstone. Scholars mistook it for an original hitherto unknown Tukaram composition. The film breaks new ground of Gauri's earthly portrayal of Tukaram's wife Jijai, who energetically squeezes cow dung cakes of fuel and refuses to ascend to heaven, preferring to stay on earth and look after the children. This is from a review I just read. Other innovations include the extraordinary tracking shot introducing Rameshwar Shastri to the town, showing the people working to the cadence of a song. Gauri, a familiar figure in Prapat films, mainly in walk-on roles, had her first major break in the film and went on to several fine performances in, for example, Manu/Admi 1939 and Sant Sakhu 1941. Kumar Shahani 1981 pointed to erotic elements in the devotional fervour, for example, in the scenes of the prostitute who was converted by the saint and in Pagnis's own performance. Art historian Geeta Kapoor wrote, 1987, it belongs to a subgenre of special significance. The saints' lives are, as legends, quasi-biographical material, expressly adaptable to historical ends in the light of their manifest commitment to spiritual equality and their validation of demotic speech patterns. Just reading about a little bit more from Wikipedia about this film's reception and legacy. It drew hordes of people from across villages wherever it was shown. Film India in 1941 records a screening in a village of a population of 300 having a crowd of 1,500 for the film. Film scholar and professor on Indian cinema Gayatri Chatterjee describes how Sant Tukaram has a spiritual effect on audiences of all ages, sections of society, Indian or foreign. She especially narrates about the experience of a Canadian Muslim student who had a spiritual experience by watching this film. On the eve of the celebration of 100 years of Indian cinema, Shyam Benegal, a doyen among filmmakers of India, considers this classic film, set in the true Maharashtrian rural cultural setting, when the Bhakti movement was at its peak frenzy in the state, as one of his 5 favourite films. Benegal does not consider this somewhat primitively made film a work of cinematic craftsmanship. It's quite good, I don't know. However, regards it an extraordinary achievement as it was culturally true. The dialogues between Tukaram and Jijai are correctly catching through the nuances of their relationship. Critics like Daiwa and Shahani echo similar sentiments about its timeless quality and cultural accuracy. Sant Tukaram, regarded as one of the greatest Indian films, it became Prabhat's most famous and acclaimed film. The film is regarded as the archetypal classic of Sant film genre and also devotional films in general. Pagnis became immortal in the role of Tukaram and also performed as the saint in live performances in his later life. Even later portraits of Tukaram used for worship resemble Pagnis's face and his attire in the film. The film is an amalgamation of a symmetrical character of Tukaram with symmetrical character of his wife Jijai. Practical reality is the way Lyle Pearson, a film critic, explains the film. He extends this observation of a further saying that Sant Tukaram does not give out concepts but demonstrates their function in actual life, that a realistic story with songs and magic. The film is described as a human document of great value. A simple theme was presented effectively and with appealing emotions by the main actors of the film. Very, very good. I think that will do. Have a great day, all.